Hi there. My name's Tercy Engelhardt, and I'd like to welcome you to the Unreasonably Grateful podcast. And I'd also like to welcome you to 2023. So it just so happens that this particular episode is going to be released on New Year's Day. So, yes, it's a new beginning, it's a new year. And I just want to remind you well, first of all, I want to let you know that I'm grateful that you're here. And I continue to hear about new people joining the podcast or it popping up somehow in their feed and being the perfect message at the perfect time. And I don't know, I just trust that. I trust that the resources, the love, the information, the guidance usually shows up just when we're not only available, but we're ready and we're willing. And so I'm grateful for that. And thank those of you who have shared that with me. It certainly encourages me to keep on going. And I'm grateful to have you be a part of my journey and to be a part of your journey in some way. So it's one of the beauties of technology that we can be connected in this way, even though we may not be in the same place at the same time on this amazing and beautiful planet of ours. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And happy New Year. So, okay, I don't have your answers. You do. And I say that every week because I want to remind you of that when there's a question that you have, it's usually an invitation. Go inside and ask for the guidance or the wisdom of what's needed or what would you like. And my experience is that it's always there when we're open, when we're willing, when we slow down, and when we listen. Um, I'm in a series where I'm reading a story from my recently published book, also called Unreasonably Grateful. The subtitle is Living in Grace by Choice. Gratitude and grace are the same root word. And when we can be grateful, when we can give thanks, we actually have access to that amazing, oftentimes undeserved, unwarranted grace that encourages us and supports us and guides us and helps us. So I'm grateful for that. Today's story is about new beginnings. It's about being able to enter into a place or a space that perhaps you got trapped by before. You know, the what I'm sharing with you in my book and podcast are just little bits of wisdom that I've gleaned over these 37 years of recovery from 20 years of dealing with addiction in my case and eating disorder. So it's powerful when you can re-enter a space and not get triggered like you once got triggered. And that's the hope and the message of this story. And I thought it was the perfect story for the first day of a new year. Okay, here we go. All right. The title of this, for those of you that are following along in the book, this is chapter 30. The date I assigned here was 1991. And I was actually living in Santa Cruz, California at the time. I was driving down Highway 9 near Santa Cruz on my way home from massage school. The window of my car was down and the wind was blowing through my hair when suddenly I had the motivation to go home and to cook chocolate chip cookies for my children. I could feel a prison door opening and light flooding in. I was both peaceful and excited. Somehow I knew in advance that I could bake without being trapped by past behaviors. Cookies and most sweets had been a booby trap for me in the past. I would either eat most of the dough or most of the cookies and always be left feeling defeated and guilty, hiding my shame. I have experienced this lesson over and over again. I often ask myself, am I ready to walk into this situation that I wasn't able to handle powerfully in the past, only this time emerge victoriously. The question has me slow down, check in, look at what I need to be supported, pray, reach out to a friend, breathe, keep my heart open, and then act, trusting the outcome no matter what. So, the message I have on this chapter at the bottom says, what past can you re enter and this time emerge victorious? So, as I've shared with you, sure, it's great to heal and to not have to go back through the same traps that perhaps we entered when our behavior wasn't healthy, when we did feel separated from any wisdom or any guidance. However, if you can walk back through some of those same situations and emerge victoriously, there is a certain power and a strength and a confidence that emerges when you make it through that. And that was my experience when I made those chocolate chip cookies. And I also knew in advance I'd be able to do it. So, how does that happen? What happens? It wasn't like I had planned for it. I didn't think about it. It wasn't a mental construct. I was actually going to massage school at the time to heal some of my wounding around touch and physical body and intimacy. And also, learning massage allowed me to be able to work with other people who were dealing with eating disorders and be able to hug them or touch them, because I wanted to be able to do that when I sat and listened to other people and their struggles. I wanted to be able to hold their hand or to hug them when it was over. And there was something in that process where I began to restore my trust of myself. And again, like I said, it wasn't a conscious effort. I wasn't efforting. But that day, I can still remember the wind blowing through my hair and the experience of empowerment or freedom from a trap that had held me for a really long time. So this week, see if you can't look at a situation or environment that perhaps you're avoiding because you don't feel safe yet. And maybe ask yourself, what do you need? What do you need to be safe? What would support you? What could encourage you? How might you be able to enter into that same environment and this time not be caught? This time actually be victorious and emerge with a new sense of confidence and self-trust and even wisdom. Okay? So let's take that on this week. And I will as well. There's always new ground that we can take, new areas where we can not react and instead just sort of take a breath, stand in our own sense of self awareness, knowing that we're loved, knowing that we cared for, and respond rather than react. All right. So, new year, new opportunities. And maybe this is a lesson that you carry with you throughout the year. Doesn't have to be just today, but an ongoing opportunity to gain a little bit more ground in your own personal freedom. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful new year. And I'll see you next week. And as usual, if there's someone that you think could benefit from this message, this podcast, or the book, share it with them. It'll provide something for you as well. All right.